Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be doing an exciting video because I asked you guys on Instagram what level of excitement you had for this new product, and everybody was like 10 out of 10, I wanna see you review this. So this is the new e.l.f. Cosmetics CC Cream. This is the CAMO CC Cream. A lot of people are saying it reminds them of, or it is a dupe for the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. Now this has a cult following, it's quite pricey, but a lot of people love this product. So I thought instead of just reviewing the e.l.f. today, I'm gonna do half and half. So I'll do the CC Cream from IT Cosmetics on this side, the e.l.f. Cosmetics on this side. I think the shades will be close enough, and see if the coverage is similar, if the finish, the wear time. We're gonna do an 8 to 9 hour wear test. I'm getting a little bit of a late start this morning. I just want to apply this, give you my first impression close up, show you my texture on my skin, set it as I normally would, and then go throughout my day, do a couple check-ins, and then we will check in at the end of the night. I wanna see, do they wear the same? Do they break up? Do they get oily? All of that. So that is the plan for today. If you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe, and let's go ahead and begin. Before we get into the demo, I'm going to compare the products in terms of what the claims are and the price tag. The e.l.f. retails for $14. As of right now, you can only get it on their website. The IT Cosmetics is $39.50, so quite a big difference in price, but this is more accessible, obviously, because it's not a new product. I'm hoping that e.l.f. will roll out to drugstores very soon. In terms of SPF, the e.l.f. has 30 SPF and the IT Cosmetics has 50, so more SPF in the IT Cosmetics if that's something that you're looking for. In terms of coverage, the e.l.f. markets this as a medium to full coverage. The IT Cosmetics says this is full coverage. In terms of the shade range, the e.l.f. comes in 20 different shades and the IT Cosmetics only 12. IT Cosmetics tends to have kind of a smaller range, like fair, light, medium, deep. They don't typically expand, but I think recently they did add some, and hopefully they will continue to do so. But as of right now, there's more shades in the e.l.f. to choose from. And then in terms of skin loving ingredients, they both tout having, you know, skincare within this product. So e.l.f. has collagen, peptides, and niacinamide. And in the IT Cosmetics, they really do describe this as an anti-aging serum, but it's full coverage. So both of these products are very similar in the fact that they say they're gonna benefit your skin as well as give you coverage. In terms of the packaging, they both have a pump, they have the same feel, they look quite similar. You get 1.08 ounces in the IT Cosmetics and 1.05, so essentially an ounce in each component. Now in terms of choosing my shade from the e.l.f. website, they did have like a shade matcher, so I did a couple and I got a couple different options, but I chose to go lighter because I didn't want a really orange color that would kind of offset my opinion. So I chose light 210N, which is supposed to be a neutral shade. And in the IT Cosmetics, I have the shade medium. Now the medium is definitely a little bit deeper and a little bit more warm, but I think once we blend it out and finish our makeup, it should be okay. So I went ahead and zoomed you guys in. I did apply a pore primer, which is my favorite as of lately. This is the Haley's Beauty Refine Prime. I just really like it for smoothing out my pores, and I always do that before foundation, so I'm just gonna go with my normal routine. So let's go ahead and start on the e.l.f. side. I'm gonna pump some out on the back of my hand. So I did about 2 pumps there. Looks like it's gonna be a decent shade match. It's very thick, it's not running at all. And I'm just gonna use a beauty blender to apply. Okay, right off the bat, it is definitely medium coverage, leaning high medium. Feels quite thick. I tend to prefer more of a dry down Estee Lauder Double Wear, the new NARS Soft Matte, but I know not everybody has the same preferences, so we will just try it out and you'll get to see the real results. I don't have the skin that just holds on to foundation all day. Like a lot of times it'll slip and slide, accentuate my texture, so this is gonna be a real test. I also have a little bit of scarring over here I'm gonna try to cover. I'm not noticing a scent, which is nice. So there is half of my face done. My first impression is that it is medium to full coverage. I feel like you could build it. It's definitely accentuating my pores a little bit, but once we set with powder, that usually smooths out. And it does feel hydrating to me. It doesn't feel, again, like a lockdown double wear kind of situation. So we'll see how it wears. I'm now gonna go in with my IT Cosmetics. I'm just gonna use the other side of my sponge so that we don't double dip. And I do like the IT Cosmetics, but not for long wear. Again, I just like something that really locks in. I think the IT Cosmetics is gonna be, yeah, it's a little bit more olive toned and it has a scent. Off the bat, I can already smell like a lemon scent. Have I ever noticed that before? But the texture of them feels very similar. Like I can definitely feel that there's skincare ingredients because they feel very hydrating. So this is what the foundation looks like. So the e.l.f. on this side, IT Cosmetics on this side, I'm noticing two very small differences. The scent on the IT Cosmetics is like a lemon scent. So if you're sensitive to fragrance, just keep that in mind. I don't smell a scent on the e.l.f. side. The second thing I noticed was that the IT Cosmetics has a smidge more coverage out the gate, which makes sense because they do market it as full coverage straight up, whereas the e.l.f. is more buildable because they market it as medium to full. So you can definitely get the e.l.f. to where the IT Cosmetics is, but I noticed I had to use less product of the IT Cosmetics to get the same coverage. In terms of the appearance of them, they're very hydrating. They do feel tacky. I would have to set these down. I set down all of my foundations, but this specifically. I'm gonna throw some close-up shots of my skin so you can kind of compare and see how it's sitting before I set it. I will say the IT Cosmetics looks a little bit heavier in my pore area than the e.l.f., which is nice because that's something that I struggle with. So we'll have to see how that acts once I actually set with powder. Now that I've given you some close-ups, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off camera, do the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back and see how it looks and compare each side with my full glam on. So I'll be back just in a little bit. All right, guys, so I finished the rest of my makeup off camera. I will link all the products down below that I use just so I save time not going through them. But I will say, looking at my face, I'm gonna pop in some close-ups. They look basically the same, although to my surprise, the e.l.f. looks a smidge smoother around my pore area where the IT Cosmetics just a little bit more enhanced. So that's actually great because that's my biggest issue really is long wear, but also just smoothing my texture. So the fact that the e.l.f. is a little bit more smoothing gives me hope. They feel exactly the same. Again, in the close-ups you can see, but honestly, I don't think you'd be able to tell that I have two different foundations on. I just noticed just a little bit more smoothness right here. So you guys have to let me know down below. I will check back in maybe in like 4 hours. I'm just gonna go on about my day, check in about 4 hours, and then we'll do our final check-in about 8 hours in. So I'll see you in my first check-in. Okay guys, so I'm back for my first check-in. It's been about 5 hours. I was trying to do a 4-hour check-in and then I got, you know, lost track of time. So looking at my skin, they look essentially the same to me. I'm noticing some oils coming through, which is enhancing my texture here. Again, this is a normal issue that I always deal with. And then my chin looks kind of oily, probably oilier than anywhere else. For me, this is not shocking because the IT Cosmetics, I would just powder right here and right here. In terms of how the skin looks otherwise though, I'm not noticing really any difference or breaking up. So I'm curious to see how much more oil comes through by the 8-hour, 9-hour mark. I feel like we're gonna be a little bit greasy, but other than that, I will say I still feel that the IT Cosmetics side is a little bit more enhanced texture-wise. So that is everything for my 5-hour check-in. I'll see you guys in a few hours for my final check-in of the night. All right, guys, so I'm back for my final check-in. It's been a little over 8 hours and I wanna tell you my thoughts. In terms of wear, they're both hanging on. I don't see any breaking up or separation or patchiness, which is great. But there is noticeably more oil on the IT Cosmetics side. Now, I do have combo skin. I tend to get oily on my chin, so this is not surprising, and then right near the sides of my nose, which accentuates my pores, which I don't love. So I think that's why I tend to stick with matte foundations. I will say that the e.l.f. held up better on my skin than the IT Cosmetics purely because I do see some oils peeking through, but it's nothing as intense as this side. And my chin looks pretty intense, but again, that's where I get the most oily. I did want to take just a powder. I'm gonna use this CoverGirl Clean Fresh and see if I can touch up both sides just to see if this is like salvageable. So if you were out and you were wearing this for 8 or 9 hours, but you really had to touch up, I feel like this is the best way to revive a foundation if it's oily. So I'm starting off with the e.l.f. side and I'm just patting in and you can see immediately it smooths and refreshes the foundation. Do a little bit on my forehead right in the center here. Again, just kind of refreshes everything. Now we'll do the IT Cosmetics side. So already I feel so much better about the way the foundation looks. That's just my personal preference. This is something I struggle with. I feel like some people struggle with smudgy mascara. Some people struggle with, you know, separation of foundation or oiliness or whatever. For me, it is definitely texture. So I think that's why I avoid dewy foundations in general. So let me go ahead and go over this chin. I mean, look at that difference. I feel like it's totally refreshed. I could wear this for another 5, 6 hours, and that is a great sign for me. So because these are skincare loving, hydrating foundations, they're definitely not going to be as long wear as a double wear or something like that. But you can wear them a long time if you're willing to touch up. You know, if I wear my double wear all day, I don't have to touch it up at all. But this is something that I would wear, but know that I have to powder my face every, 5, 6 hours, something like that. But I am impressed with the e.l.f., seriously impressed, especially because I really do like this IT Cosmetics, as I said, for just not like long wear, like if I was going to a wedding or something. But this one's even smoother, and that's really what I look for, is something that's really gonna make my skin look as least textured as possible, because that is something I struggle with. Again, you can build the coverage up to get a full coverage on both of them, so go with the e.l.f. That's just my opinion. You guys will have to let me know down below what you think, but both of these are great options. I just think if you haven't tried this and you were thinking about it, go for the $14 one. I know e.l.f. has kind of raised their prices, which can be a little bit frustrating, but also if they're coming out with higher quality products that really rival high end, I feel like it sort of makes sense. A little bit more expensive for e.l.f. and drugstore in general, but higher quality products, better packaging, the whole shebang. So I will link these products down below and the rest of the makeup that I was wearing today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.